Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ring Ready Live, the home of the owner handler, brought to you by Showsite Magazine. I'm Dan Sayers with Showsite here in the new year with Lee Whittier, the dog show mentor. Lee, how are you?
I am terrific. I am so happy that it's January 2022.
Yes, we're 5 days in, and how was your New Year's Eve? Did you go out and celebrate, or were you like me and you stayed in with your
Uh,
dogs?
in with the puppies, absolutely in with the puppies. I
Yes.
heard the whole area though celebrates here with fireworks. So
Yes, I think fireworks, yeah, they've really gotten out of hand. There's no holiday where fireworks aren't used anymore. And I had some fireworks go off in my neighborhood that shook the house. Thankfully, the dogs managed to stay quiet through the celebration. But here we are, and it's so good to see you. I want to ask you about Dog Show Mentor and your mastery program. You have been encouraging people to join, and I'm wondering if you have any news to share.
I do. We're just about full. I have one spot left. So if you're interested in applying for the year-long mastery program that I've developed, um, and are willing to put in some time and have some fun, we'd love to have your application. So go to, I think that Alex is going to put it in the chat where the application can be found. And you can always message me if you have questions.
Wonderful. Well, that's exciting. It's going to be a great opportunity for 10 students of the mastery program. When does that program kick off? Is there a sense of urgency?
Uh, there is a sense of urgency. Thank you. I'm always so go with the flow that I forget that yes, there's an urgency. Um, we are starting at the end of the week, so
Oh,
we've
wow.
we've started a few things already, but uh, I can still take one person before the end of the week.
Wonderful. Well, if you're watching and listening and you think that you are that one person, now is the time. And by now, I mean right now.
Right
Reach
now.
out.
And I'm
Lee-
going to Palm Springs too. So the other
oh,
thing is if you're going to be at Palm Springs with the other 4,499 dogs,
wow.
you can tap me on the shoulder and say hello.
Lucky you and everyone else who is going to be in Palm Springs. And you mentioned that show, and you have me thinking, Lee, about last week's end of year show, where word came in for all of us that a very important show was postponed. And that, of course, is the Westminster Kennel Club show, which was scheduled for end of this month, will now likely be held later in the year, as it was last year. But Lee, if I may, you really your announcement was delivered with such calm, and you managed to kind of make it clear to me anyway, and I'm sure to others, that the show must go on. And even if there is a postponement of a show, there are events. This is just the start of the year. And none of us knows what is going to happen for the remainder of the year. But you handled that with such grace. And, you always manage to, and this is your word, you manage to pivot when necessary. And you just did that so well. I just wanted to mention that while we're here with all of the Ring Ready Live viewers, because I guess the takeaway for me last week was don't be discouraged.
Well, and
Um,
there are always options, right?
yes.
We all have options. We just have to look at what they might be. And sometimes you have to do it quickly. What
So
are the
yes,
options here?
judges do it quickly, show chairs do it quickly, ring stewards do it quickly, exhibitors, we have to do it quickly as well. So I just want to welcome everyone again, once again, to our first show of 2022. Let us know who you are, where you are. Let us know your breed. And let us know if you've had to pivot in the past year or so. Maybe your show was canceled, or maybe something else just happened that where you had to kind of Yeah, pivot is the
I'm
best
really
word.
curious. I'm really curious to see what people are gonna say because I know all of us have had to look at new options, and I'm really curious. So please post, something that you thought was gonna happen or that you were gonna do, and it got changed, and so you did something else. What else did you do, and how long did it take you to figure out what you were gonna do?
Yes, and maybe as a way to encourage you to give your experiences, share those with Lee and I and with everyone else. Maybe another way to think about pivoting is viewing the opportunities that are presented when one door is closed. So maybe your show has been postponed. Maybe you've driven across the state only to find out that the major was broken.
Right.
How did you pivot? Maybe you arrived at the show and there was a judge's change and you had a decision to make. How did you pivot, or did you stay the course then? Um, maybe you learned something, you thought something strongly about your breed, and then something was introduced to you, or you became aware of some information, and your whole point of view about your breed had to pivot some. There's lots of moments, lots of opportunities for new experiences, and lots of opportunities for new learning. And what I learned from you last week, Lee, is that when presented with news that is disappointing, pivot. And I think that maybe that ought to be a dog show mentor uh, ism, if you will, if it's not already.
We
Yes.
do, we pivot a lot, and so it was talking about judge changes. Sometimes the judge change itself is a pivot, and you go with that, and you have to change some things in your presentation that you thought or the preparation of the dog that you thought you were gonna do differently because of that judge change. So, how have you had a judge change where um, you knew that a certain judge liked the coat presentation to be one way and you had to change that for the other judge, or maybe they like the dog to be presented um, in a more upbeat way, or maybe a calmer way, or maybe you have a judge who's maybe a little afraid of your breed. Maybe you have one of the bigger breeds, and they're not really certain, or maybe you have a permit judge, right?
Hmm.
So there are lots of reasons why you have to change, not only to decide to go with that, but how to go with that. How are you going to do that?
As the dog show mentor, Lee, would you suggest that having the skill set to pivot is essential for success as an exhibitor?
Well,
Um,
it's a life skill.
mhm, sure is.
I mean, it's a life skill, and we use our life skills in dogs that we have garnered from our lives, and vice versa. So generally, those people who are full of angst when they come up with something different are also full of angst in their other life, right? And they bring that into the dog world. It generally, and from what I've seen, I work closely with people for my whole adult life, and that I've seen how people handle decision making process. They it crosses over.
It
So you can
does.
practice in your dog world and bring it into your life, and voila, you know?
That's great. Or you could practice in your real life and bring it into the dog world. Either way, it is you who has the decision on how best to pivot and to accommodate the disappointments in life and the changes that come our way. Lee, let's remind everyone that in addition to being the dog show mentor, you're a multi-group judge, but you also have professional experience coaching. So when you're talking about these sorts of things from your uh, life, they are from your career. This is work that you have done for 5+ years as a dog show mentor, but you've been doing this in your career long
Right,
before that.
right. And
So you,
and also, my training in mediation and conflict resolution. So Yeah, it's a strong element of my background, and, I like to use it to not only to my own best advantage, but to the best advantage of the people around me. So and that those people are a lot of those people are Dog Show Mentor members, but also people in my, ring when I'm judging and, my fellow exhibitors. So, yeah, one time can I tell a little story here, Dan? This
Please
this
do.
is a reveal. This is a reveal.
Listen up, everyone.
So, I was at a show, and I'm not gonna tell you what year or even what decade, and I had my dog, and I won, and the only thing I heard was the crowd roaring, um, because the dog was a popular dog, and, um, I later had another exhibitor come and apologize to me.
Hmm.
And it turned out that she had made a disparaging comment at the moment that of the point when the judge pointed, a disparaging comment, and I was able to make a new friend. So it was a moment, it was a reveal moment of allowing someone to reveal a moment in time where they weren't at their best and not be criticized or made to feel badly or worse than they already felt,
Mhm.
but to accept in a gracious way their comments. So,
Yeah, thank you for sharing that story. I'm sure that if we're all honest with ourselves, we've probably been in similar situations and have hopefully learned from them and been able to pivot after sort of admitting our the error of our ways. You know, at the end of the day, this is a dog show. There will be other dog shows. As badly as we want to win, um, there's always another opinion and another show waiting. We're getting some hellos, Lee, from a number of our loyal viewers and a few new ones. Ginger and Leslie have joined us, and Jean Marie Savina is here. Pauline and Sandy, hello to all of you. Sabine says that she lives in the Netherlands and her shows were already canceled. The upcoming shows have been canceled. Um, she says there may be one in March, but not that is not certain at this point. So, how does Sabine pivot? What advice can we offer to Sabine about? Obviously, she's got dogs; they're ready to compete, but there are no shows. What's the pivot position for an exhibitor like Sabine who finds that she has show dogs but no show to go to? And we've all been in this position recently, Sabine. We certainly understand, but there are options. There are
yeah,
ways to pivot.
Sabine, what is your breed? Remind me what your breed is. I have this vision of you
Mm,
um, in a park, in a beautiful park, with your dog, ready for a show, and people around you, observing your dog, um, observing you, working with your dog, being with your dog in this beautiful, setting, and, I'm just wondering, my breed is Thai Baguio. Ah.
oh,
Yes, I love that breed. I will post a picture later.
wonderful.
Alright. Um, I think you could get some very good press, so to speak, and I'd love to see you actually write a blog about your breed and your dog and what makes it special. So, that's what you can do with some time.
That's a wonderful pivot. And as you were describing how you imagine Savine and her dogs to be in that park setting, I was taken on my daily walks with my Irish Water Spaniels. And you may be surprised to know, but every second or third day, somebody stops their car and says something really lovely. What breed is that? They may ask, or they may just say, that's a beautiful dog or a pretty dog. But it is an opportunity to promote the breed, the sport. And Sabine, you can do that as well in the Netherlands while you're not attending a show. And certainly we all can do that wherever we are. That is great press. And Lee, I loved your encouraging words for Sabine to prepare a blog or an article, maybe for publication in Showsite Magazine and Ring Ready. Sabine, we'd love to hear about you and your dogs, particularly because yours is a breed that many of us are unfamiliar with. I've seen your breed in photos, but I have to admit, I've never seen one in person. Lee, you've been to Thailand. You probably have a good familiarity with
Yes.
with that breed. Um, Lee, that was masterful. Every week, there's just always a surprise in how you respond to questions. And I want to encourage everyone to pose questions to Lee or to myself. I don't know that I can be as fluent and as thoughtful as Lee, but we are getting some comments, or I don't know if they're questions, Lee. Um, Sandy is saying that with less shows and events, she took her photography and graphic design skills to a whole new level. And she's pursuing her dream of designing dog show ads. That's wonderful, Sandy. And of course, there's always room for creativity in the dog advertising business. But yeah, what a wonderful way to pivot and to turn a disappointment into an opportunity where you can polish your skill sets in a way that is meaningful to you and to your future clients as well. Um, Pauline is saying, Lee, that she's working with her chow on commands and obedience and ramp skills. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. Uh, it's it gives them so much more confidence when they really understand what we want, and and with your breed, it's really important to start as young as you can. So keep up the good work and keep moving forward with that child because it's a beautiful breed. I love that breed. Love judging that breed. Um, so we have an exciting show ahead. We have a new part of our show, and I can't wait. Dan's going to tell you about it.
Yes, thank you, Lee. So, everyone, Lee and I were talking with our producer, Alex, and we thought, well, how can we sort of um, engage our viewers and our community a little bit more? So, we thought, let's have a game, and it's a very simple game. But as you all know, Lee and I are really fans of the breed standards. We love language and we love terminology. We love to increase our understanding, as we hope you do as well. We also love our dog libraries. And so, what we are going to do, there it is, the Gilbert book, the Encyclopedia of Canine Terminology. But we are,
That is illustrated by Dan, right? If you don't have a
yes,
copy, you better buy one.
thank you for that plug. Yes, my illustrations are in that volume. That is the work of Ed Gilbert, and he put his heart and soul into that book.
And
He
as far
too.
as I can tell, you did too, Dan.
Well, yes, thank you. It was a wonderful years long project in the making, but now that it is in print and available to all of us, we are going to extrapolate from Gilbert and from a few of the other books that Lee, you and I spoke about on a show last year. We mentioned a few of our favorite
Yeah.
books, but the game is going to be called "What's the Word?" And what Lee and I are going to do, we are going to give you a definition, extrapolated in part from Gilbert or from Spira or from maybe even from the breed standards directly. And then we're going to ask you to guess the word. So we hope that that sounds fun and engaging to you. These aren't going to be challenging words for some, but they may be new to others. And so we're going to give you the definition first, and we're going to see if any of you or all of you can choose the right answer, and then we'll reveal the answers. So, Lee, everyone, are you ready to play?
It's going to be really hard for me not to say the word, so you're going to have to go.
Here we go. All right. So, the first clue is, and I'm just going to read this to you, a neck with a base circumference not much greater than at the head and neck junction. I'll read that again. A neck with a base circumference not much greater than at the head and neck junction. Let us know what you think the word is. And by
I,
word, it may be two or three words. Um, we'll give you a few minutes.
yep,
Ginger has her copy.
yep,
I guess this could be open book.
yeah.
What's what's the word?
What's the word?
Michelle, her guess is nape. That's a
Ah,
good
good
guess.
guess.
Not correct. So we'll encourage some more of you.
It's like ding ding.
Yes,
I
this
I could
was
be
true.
my job here, Dan.
Do you want to do that? Okay, I like that. You can be. I guess it would be the Vanna White to my. Sorry, I've forgotten the host's name.
There you go.
But the clue is a neck with a base circumference not much greater than at the head and neck junction.
Okay, so I am going to yeah, Michelle's like, LOL. Okay, so what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna give another hint because
Super.
this is tricky. I think this is tricky. Um, because because when we think about this word, the function of this word is different than what you think from the actual structure of the neck. So may I?
Please.
So if you can move a dog's uh, neck back towards the tail, it's what is that movement indicative of?
Hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you can visualize what Lee just described, that might help you. Sandy
Oh,
said
we have stumped people here. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to put a clock on this.
maybe Lee, would it be helpful to say that this can be viewed from the side? Um, would that be true? And would that be
Uh-huh.
helpful? Oh, these are wonderful suggestions. Uh, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Woohoo, Karen. Good
Karen Douglas.
job.
Well done, Karen. Karen's guess was the U neck.
Right. All
And
right.
that may be spelled EWE. Uh, however, no matter the spelling, there it is. It is a U neck. So, Lee, let's for a moment, can we expand upon the U neck? Maybe extrapolate on that description that you just gave us a moment ago. A lot of times we hear U-neck described, oh, that bitch has a U-neck or that dog is U-necked. What exactly are we seeing when somebody says there's a U-neck?
Well, the key here to me, Dan, is that it's a lot harder to see with coat because it can be obscured with coat. But if you have a short coated breed, the front of the neck is more prominent than the crest of the neck. It's pretty. I mean, if you see that, you'll know.
Yes.
It's
Um,
yeah. It's not hard, really.
right. One of the definitions that I found was that this neck also lacks an arch in
Right.
the neck.
Right. It's more
So
prominent on this side than on this
yes,
side. Right.
yes. And when you think about a ewe, a sheep, and that confirmation after that sheep has been sheared, you can see that that is a very different neck to shoulder transition than is ideal in our dogs. And a
Right.
ewe neck is faulty in our breeds. and that
Yeah.
um, it is
I've
not
never
something.
seen a standard that asks for it, have you?
No,
Oh,
no. But I
there
have
could be
seen.
one out there that we don't know, but I don't think so.
No, but we have seen animals in the ring. I'm sure you, as a judge, have seen that faulty construction. So everyone, let's pull out our Gilbert, or let's Google, and let's learn a little bit more about the U neck. Lee, do you think we have time for one more word?
I think we have time for one more.
One more word, okay. And I see that Megan has joined us. Hello, Megan. Great to have you with us today. So here is the next clue: a hock that cannot be flexed in action, locked
Oh,
hocks, overangulated hocks, or set under hocks. I'll read that again: a hock that cannot be flexed in action, also referred to as locked hocks, overangulated hocks, set under hocks. This is something that I know we see in many breeds. Maybe the hint would be that well, you're the judge, Lee.
well, uh, it's so prevalent in so many breeds. And aha, aha, yes,
Sandy.
Sandy, winner, winner, woohoo!
Congratulations, Sandy. The
Congratulations,
answer
Sandy.
is
Sickle hawks.
Snicklehawk.
It's
Yes.
so prevalent, but people don't know what it means. A lot of people standing ringside, even people who have been showing for a couple of years, don't know what it means. And so the key here is when you're standing ringside and somebody uses a term that you don't know, ask. And if you don't want to ask them, send us a secret message and we'll put it on the show for you.
Mm,
We won't say who asked. But if you don't know, ask us. We'll be happy to do that. And if you are standing ringside and you hear a term that you're unfamiliar with and you go look it up and you find out what it is and you think you know, still tell us because we want to know what terms are out there that people aren't understanding. So we're going to do this. Um, I don't know if it's going to be every show, but we will continue to do words for you and help you define and more fully understand them. So please give us some ideas about what you've heard that you don't know what the word means. Yes, Sandy Afghan's right.
yes, it is. It is a fault in so many breeds, as you say. But once you learn to spot that, same with a eunuch,
Yeah.
same with any quality that is either faulty or the hallmarks of the breed that we love to talk about. Once your eye recognizes them, you got it. You got it. And one of the wonderful things about being involved in this sport is that there's always something to learn about every breed. There's always something to learn about anatomy and physiology, training, temperament, and terminology. So, yes, take up Lee's advice. Let us know if there's something, a word, a term that you're struggling to understand. And we can make that word part of what's the word, and have fun while we're doing so. Um, so let us know what you think of what's the word, and if this is an idea for the show that you've enjoyed. And I also want to remind you that if that there is one place left for Dog Show Mental Mastery class. If you have been thinking about it, yes, the show is starting, the class is starting later this week, and Lee would love to have you consider taking up that very last spot in class. One chair remains, and it could be yours. I also want to remind you that Megan is your client relationship manager. She'd be happy to hear from you as well. Megan at showsiteMagazine.com. There is a 10% discount for new advertisers, and the January issue is closing this Friday, January 7th. So reach out to Megan. She'd be happy to hear from you and help you to celebrate your dog and your wins and your plans for the coming year. Um,
And can I just say that, you know, Ring Ready is its own magazine within a magazine. So when you contact Megan, ask to be in that Ring Ready section. That's for owner handlers. And um, I'm just doing an ad myself for a dog show mentor in the Ring Ready section. And I'm I'm making sure that I'm in there. You know, I still show my own dog. And so make sure that you're in that ring ready section because that's a terrific section. Whether you're competing just in an OHS or they're competing in regular groups and NOHS, um, ask for that section because it's really pretty spectacular.
Also, in that spectacular section are monthly articles written by the Dog Show Mentor. You can find those on the website. Every article that she's ever written for Ring Ready, I write for the Ring Ready magazine as well. You can find my articles. Each month, we interview an owner handler and a breeder owner handler. So there is a lot of opportunity there for you to advertise, yes, but also to expand your knowledge of the sport and of the world of owner handlers. And Lee, you have written some really wonderful pieces for Ring Ready, and I encourage everybody to go back and read them. And if you've read them already, go back and read them again. Every time that you read an article written by Lee, or if you watch Ring Ready Live, there's always something that you may have missed the first or second time. So, as Lee always says, we are humans and we learn by repetition. So, um, go back there
And
and
repeating the right thing. I mean,
the
that's
right
key,
thing.
right? You got to
Well,
repeat the right thing. You got to
yes, and
practice the right thing.
the right thing is always found here at Ring Ready Live, including the right answers to terminology in our new game, What's the Word? So, Lee, I want to thank you again for joining us. Best of luck at Palm Springs. Safe travels to you and everyone else who is going to beautiful, sunny Southern California. And enjoy the show. It's a spectacular venue. Lee, you said 4,000 plus dogs. Is
I
that
think
right?
they're yeah, 4,500 is the number I saw. I could be making that up, but it was
Well,
a big it's big.
it's big. Well done to the clubs.
You know,
And
it's outdoors, and I think a lot of people are happy to have an outdoor show, and it's gonna
yes,
be sunny and not too hot.
yeah,
So, perfect weather for dogs.
perfect weather. Best of luck to everyone who is competing there. If you're an owner handler who's in Palm Springs, let us know. We'll check in with you next week, or you do the same with us. Let us know how you and your dog did in the sunshine of Southern California. Until next week, Lee, I want to thank you for joining me here at Ring Ready Live. I want to thank all of you for joining us here, Jeannie, Sandy, Glenda, everyone who makes Ring Ready Live a real important part of their week. And we'll look forward to seeing you here next week. And until then, remember, dogs are fun. So have fun with your dogs.
And make sure your dog has fun with you. See you in the winner's circle.
Bye, everyone.